I agree with you with being, I guess, being able to hold yourself accountable. But I can't tell you how many times when the single mother topic, bullshit baby daddy topic come up, and 90% of them say he tricked me. Before it was this, and once the baby came, it was that. There's no way that that number is real. It's no way. Which is why I go into the get rid of that takes two to tango shit, because all that's telling is young women that you both are equally responsible for this life once it comes into the world, which it should be because you both laid down to make it. But
Mm-hmm.
we got to be realistic and start telling them, like, hey, he has more room to get the hell on. So do the best you can with picking him, or make sure the contraception is on you. Don't leave it up to him. You make sure it's happening. Get on birth control, because ultimately you the one stand to run the most risk. You will have the most life altering changes from having this child. But if you keep saying, well, it takes two, it takes two, it takes two, what about him? The shit gonna keep happening. We're gonna keep having single mothers, keep having sob stories, and like, how long do we have to hear that before we have some women led symposiums talking to young women about how to avoid these things, instead of just telling them it takes two to tango. If he leave, he just a piece of shit. I get it. But,
Mm-hmm.
and on the flip side, we need to tell men, which I think now is changing. Like, you really don't get no stripes for being a deadbeat. You know, nigga, like, bro, you can't even hang with me if you don't take care of your kids.
Who said that?
That is, of
I'm
course,
just asking.
you're not.
I don't know.
I mean, I can show you some videos
I
about that
want to
shit,
see them
but
videos.
and the rate of involved fathers is rising drastically.
It
Can you?
should.
Okay, you say it should, but
Yes.
you do believe that.
Sure.
Okay,
I hope so.
but you get why I'm saying it may not sound good, but the onus is more on the young lady, because you paying with your body and potentially with the rest of your life being altered. He can get up and walk away, and you just gotta let the courts try to find him. And niggas get slick every day. You know, if he's somebody that don't got a 9 to 5 already, he ain't tripping about no child support, because you gotta find him. And
Hmm.
what income are you gonna tax, or you gonna garnish? So I think it's important to start there. Do not let these young girls grow up thinking that if we both laid together, we're both equally responsible. Technically, you are, but the way life plays out and the way it is now, you gonna be left holding the bag more than likely if he leaves. Not, all guys ain't bullshitters, but you know,
I do know. And I I appreciate that conversation on single mothers and deadbeat dads. Um I mean, I agree. I do. So, instead of maybe it takes two to tango, it's mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Not saying that genetically and biologically he's not the dad, but that
mm,
he doesn't physically have to be there
yeah,
or financially or whatever. Um, so we definitely got to dig into that on an episode, which you caught a little bit today. You did get a little sprinkle of that today,
we
but
can have a little spillovers. It makes for good conversation.
no,
It's
I
fine.
mean I agree. I'm just saying, like, um, I don't know about the 90% because you know, I think that was just something you said, but
90%
you
was,
was like 90% of the comments is he tricked me.
yeah. I'm saying that I rarely hear, and I watch panels, all that. I rarely hear a woman say, "I knew he wasn't nothing. I was just having fun. I still laid with him, and I knew he wasn't gonna be there." That's rare. That's where the 90% came from. Usually, it's gonna be some sort of, I was the victim. He made it seem this way. Once I got pregnant, he started changing. I'm not with termination. It's against what I believe. So the child is here now.
Woo! All right. I will say, as far as accountability goes, ladies, I would, again, choose wisely, right? Um, I do understand how I do understand how it can seem one way, post baby it's another way, or razzle dazzle for you. It ain't necessarily post baby, which I'm sure in some cases it was. Like, as soon as she said, "Oh, I'm pregnant," he was like out the door. And then on other sides, you have, "I'm pregnant. Oh, I want to be there. I want to step up. I didn't have a dad. I want to, I'm gonna be the dad I
Yeah.
didn't have." And then y'all break up, and he like, "Oh, I thought we was a family."
Yeah, that's another level to it.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. So that is what I can relate to, um, because I understand it. So anyway, but that 90%, you know what I'm saying? I get the majority of people, this has been their story.
Let's
Or
say
majority of
75.
the time. I don't want to put a number on it because we don't have no statistics. But, and the people like, actually, the people don't like statistics, but they also don't want you to make up stuff. So I will say I get a most people, and I get it. And that is unfortunately a big hindrance in our community, just with broken families. But what I will say is, ladies, in order to hold yourself accountable, which is what this topic is on, I would really, like he said, you need to make sure y'all wrapping it up, or you on the birth, and you on the birth control, because Lil Wayne said something, safe sex, you need latex because you don't want the latex. That I think I'm latex. So, and even beyond that, you don't want to catch nothing out here. These STD rates is through the sky. Okay, they in the ceiling. Like, just protect yourself. And again, you can only control the parts you can control. So that is the accountability. I like, even if, okay, I want to have a little fun. Let's see, if this turns into something. That don't mean be out here willy nilly raw dogging it up. Okay, you need to be wrapping it up, because there are very, very real consequences that come with unprotected sex. And again, sometimes the men don't see those same consequences.
Everybody think about consequences when they hot, when they ready to get into it. That all that's the farthest from the front of their mind. It's all the way out the back. But it shouldn't be that way.
Right. So these women-led symposiums that you suggesting, if
Uh-huh.
they ain't gonna think about it later anyway,
You can't look at it like
well,
that.
that's why I'm saying. But you just threw that in there. We ain't need that. That was giving it
What you mean?
encouragement. You
A
ain't nobody
symposium?
thinking about that. No, I'm saying, when I just did a women-led, me speaking to the young ladies, and then you said ain't nobody thinking about that when they hot.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I wasn't saying it like you shouldn't give the message. I'm just kind of giving the reason why it may not be that black and white as
They
what you
might
were
not have
saying.
heard the message.
Yeah, they might not.
I mean, teachers will tell you, have your health teacher have safe sex, but
Hmm.
mama might not be on it. Daddy might not be on it. He might not be around. You got your home girls and everybody having sex, and this seemed like the thing to do. So whatever you gonna do, be safe. And that ain't just for young ladies. That is for 20s, 30s, and up. Please protect yourself, because what you look like 37 just now with a new baby and deadbeat. We too old. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make better choices in choosing who we are sleeping with, who our partner is, whether that's temporary or long term. We need to really, really be intentional on who we're selecting and allowing into our most precious spaces.
Absolutely, for sure.
So we appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of His and Hers Unfiltered. We look forward to recording our next episode next week.
For sure.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
You got anything?
Nah, just like, subscribe.
Oh,
Y'all keep
yeah.
doing what you're doing.
Duh.
We're getting excellent feedback, and I'm happy we decided to do it.
Yes, and please make sure you send us your DMs, your comments, your questions at His and Hers Unfiltered. You can also email us His and Hers Unfiltered at gmail.com. So we appreciate you. Make sure y'all do all the things, and we love you. Thank you. Bye.
See you next time.